nemesis of a firefighter. Arsonist, I'm a fire rider. Instant flame like a firelighter. So special with shows, I live out my flows. Can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes. Ice in my veins, but I never froze. Picture perfect, but I never pose. As a juvenile, I knew I bounced back. Got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back. Use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap. Let me to the right person to pounce at. They selling dreams, I'm pulling receipts. Full force, we can't be beat. Got a dirty mouth, but the flow so neat. Keep your 2 cents, talk is cheap.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Caden. As you can see, Trill Dollar Bill's not with us. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And so he couldn't make it, but he'll be back with us next week. I'm here with my co-host.
What's good, everyone? This is G.
And it's the TBE. What up, world? How y'all doing?
The first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Rolly Romero gets a controversial stoppage over Ishmael Barroso. So what happened was Tony Weeks jumped in after a punch to the shoulder. Rolly landed a punch on the shoulder and Tony Weeks jumped in, which is uncharacteristic for Tony Weeks because he was actually the referee in one of the greatest comeback fights ever, Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo, and he didn't stop that fight. And he was also the referee in a fight with Badu Jack, and I think it was Marcus Brown, where Marcus Brown was bloody. I mean, where Badu Jack was bloody, and he let that fight continue. But in this fight, he saw that punch to the shoulder, and he had to jump in and call the fight. We're going to listen to what Ishmael Barroso had to say, and then we're going to discuss our opinion of the stoppage. Let's take a listen to what Ishmael had to say. This video appears courtesy of Fight Hub.
Talk to us a little bit about your mindset at the stop of the fight. How are you feeling? Were you rocked at all? From my vantage point, it didn't look like you were in that much trouble.
¿Cuál era tu mentalidad hasta el momento en que te detuvieron? O sea, él piensa que no estabas en problemas.
No, yo creo que mi mentalidad estaba normal, yo estaba normal. Yo pensé que como es un árbitro experimentado, bien conocido, yo pensaba que la pelea no le iba a parar y los mejores golpes, vean el video, los mejores golpes los estaba conectando yo y justamente pararon la pelea.
You know, he's an experienced ref, someone that I know, so it really surprised me when he stopped the fight. I was feeling strong, I was in a good place. So mentality-wise, I had nothing to complain about. So, but like again, in the end, his decision, and there's nothing I could really do about it.
If you had a message for Tony Weeks, what would you say to him right now?
Si tendrías acá a Tony Weeks acá enfrente, ¿qué le dirías? Si tuvieras a Tony Weeks acá enfrente, ¿qué le dirías? Enfrente tuyo.
No, que Dios lo bendiga y bueno, es una cosa injustamente.
No, just that it was unfair. Why? That's what I want to know.
Did you sense?
All right, so you heard what he said. Barroso said it was unfair, and he wanted to know why. Tony Weeks is an experienced ref. I'm turning it over to Conspiracy G. What was your reaction to the fight in the stoppage?
I think Tony Weeks was either paid off or the man was ageist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Homie looked like somebody's grandpa in that ring. You know what I'm saying? But he was putting in mad work. My man dropped Rolly. I say, yo, Rolly, what's going on here? You know, like, now I'm not the biggest Rolly fan, but I was like, there's no way Rolly gonna lose to this old man, son. And the next thing I know, I'm looking at Rolly getting violated by homie. So I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And then I remember when Rolly, like, it wasn't even a knockdown, but they classified it as a knockdown.
Yeah, the push down.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, they letting Rolly cheat now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Rolly's always been kind of like a dirty type of fighter, kind of, you know. But I'm like, yo, come on. It's clear as day, yo, Rolly. That was not no, like, knockdown. And they still classified it as a knockdown. So I was like, this is getting funny. But still, homeboy, the old guy, was still in there. But then they got a little squabble at the end. And I'm thinking, yo, like, what's going on here? Like, you know, I'm watching it, but I'm not like, out of nowhere, I just see Weeks just jump in. I'm just like, yo, what's going on here? And I'm like, yo, did I miss a punch? You know, I'm literally looking at the screen like, yo, I'm like, am I bugging?
Did I doze off?
Yo, then so they showed the replay, and I'm like, yo, nothing like landed flush. So I'm like, why would you stop the fight? And I'm just like, all right, I got you. This is that PBC BS that I'm talking about. You know, like they're trying to manufacture victories for this kid. Like, and then and I'm being honest, this I think is now probably the second controversial victory for Rolly. Because I remember like back in it, like it was, I forgot how many months ago it was. But I remember
That was a while ago. It was like a year, I think.
yeah, but remember me and Trill got into it over that one.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
was
that
like,
was a
nah,
while
Rolly's not it.
ago. I remember.
Yeah, and I was like, Rolly's not it. He lost that fight, but they gave it to Rolly. And then now this one, Rolly lost this fight, but they gave it to Rolly. And I'm like, yo, come on, son. Like, yo, I don't know if it's because Rolly signed to Al. I don't know if it's his connection with Floyd. I don't get it. But there's somebody that's watching over this guy's career that's just blessing him with victories, bro. Like, blessing him with victories that he does not earn, he does not deserve. You know, like, I honestly believe Tony Weeks should get fired because there's no way he can explain that. And that's why it was funny. Like, at the end, he was like, he had no comments. I'm like, yeah, he has no comments because he knows he done messed up. You know, the whole world watched him mess up. Even the judges is looking confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, all the judges had the old man winning. You know, like, and I'm telling you, his only excuse should be, yo, my man looks so old. I was afraid he was gonna get a stroke or like an aneurysm or something. Like something crazy was gonna happen in the ring, so I had to intervene. That's what I'm hoping he's gonna say because he can't say anything about damage or you know any abuse in the ring because that did not happen. You know, but I don't know, man. I'm sorry, man. I understand, you know, like he's a world-renowned ref and he should be respected, but a call like this was uncalled for and he should be investigated. And from my vantage point, I don't think he should be refereeing any more fights.
Dang, you want him out like that, G?
Bro, it's like, yo, this is too corrupt. Y'all got me sounding like
Teddy Atlas.
Teddy Atlas out here. Corruption. You know what I'm saying? Like just corruption after corruption. And
this is the one time Teddy was right.
Matt, I'm gonna listen to Teddy this week just to see what he's like. Crazy.
All right, TVE.
Nah, that stoppage was wild, yo. Like G said, when I replayed it a couple times. When I watched it, I was like, what punches landed to like stop the like for the referee to jump in for the stoppage? And it seems like Barrows was robbed, and it doesn't seem like it is. Barrows got robbed last night. Like let's make that clear. He got robbed. I don't know what happened. He was beating the mess out of Rollys. But whoever put the phone call in, got in the ref's headset, was like, yo, stop the fight. He stopped the fight. And I didn't enjoy it. And honestly, I don't think Rolly's that good of a fighter. I'm gonna be real with you. He's not that good. Because you could have stopped this grandpa, man. You know, it's crazy. Like, yo, it's just like, it's like, what if you're in the sport? I like if you're young in the sport and you facing fighters of this caliber, I want to see you come in, not take their head off, but at least dominate. And at no point in this fight, Rolly showed he was dominating the fight. Rolly was getting his behind whooped. Rolly was getting dropped. Rolly was doing a lot of like sketchy stuff. So for me, like that was it. Barrow is it Barrows, right? Barroso. Sorry about it. Barroso slipped and fell. And Rolly literally tripped him. Like Rolly literally like swinged his leg behind his legs and dropped like fell. But I don't know if they counted as a drop or not.
They didn't. I know what you're talking about. Nah, they didn't count that as a knockdown.
They didn't count it as a
yeah.
Barroso literally had this man, knocked him out, knocked him down, everything. If they kept the fight going, it would have been a different story. But you know, the powers that be had influence, and you know, fight got stopped early. What's up, G?
And also like to add, Rolly's defense is horrendous. Like it's non-existent. He makes like real rookie mistakes. Like if you grab like a dude off the street and it was like, hey, I want you to like get in this fight. And the way his stance is and everything is how like dudes with no training fight. Like he's too flat-footed and he's trying to like lean back, but he doesn't move his legs while leaning back, so he's always getting caught in the face. My man, what's that dude's name? Old head kept catching him with the straight right, because he's southpaw. And I'm just like, yo, come on, bro. You gotta make adjustments. It's just, and man, shame on his trainer. What's his name? Bullet?
Bullet, yeah, Bullet.
Bullet. Yo,
have you ever seen Bullet fight though?
Nah, I don't want to after seeing this. I'm like, oh,
okay. You should go to YouTube and pull it up though.
Oh man, I can't do it to myself, respectfully. But Rolly, you not it, bro. You just not it, man. That's just you know what it is? Rolly kind of, and I shouldn't say this comparison because like, and I know Trill ain't here, so Trill might really get mad at me. But please forgive me, Trill, on this one. He kind of remind me of AB, but for the wrong reason. Like AB to me, like AB got power, right? But AB be limited on his shots. Rolly's the same exact way.
Oh no, man. Respect ABG.
No, it's not disrespect. It's just like, you know what it is? I think these guys, I don't know what happens at Mayweather's gym, but what these dudes is like when they believe they're the greatest, they talk so much trash, but it's like the way that they fight is like maybe how they spar, but it doesn't translate in a real fight.
I hear you, but Rolly
my bad.
Man, don't tell me. Don't.
Let me show you Bullet real quick. We're gonna randomly go in. Bullet is obviously, you know who Bullet is. That's Derevianchenko. Sergey Derevianchenko fighting Bullet. You saw that? Look to the body.
That makes sense. You see, oh my goodness, man. But even Bullet's defense is better than Rolly's.
Look at that offense, though. Man, Bullet just getting warmed up.
I ain't gonna lie. This remind me of like last night's fight. That's crazy. This is like
look at Bullet. Look at Bullet. Bullet looks like he's out of bullets, but anyway,
blanks. Bullet shooting blanks out here, dog. You know what I'm
saying? He out of ammo. Bullets out of ammo. All right. So yeah, you said that I just want to show you Bullet in action, just in case you never seen.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I honestly believe this. Rolly's just a gimmick. Rolly was designed to just be a victim for Tank. That's what I believe. Like they just needed somebody with a mouth that could promote a fight. I remember like when they were pushing that Rolly versus Tank fight, like they had like people really thinking Rolly could beat Tank. And I'm just like, come on, son, this is getting crazy, So, and I don't know, man. I think this guy's a clown, But respectfully, at least the one thing I give him is at the end of the fight, he did say he wanted to keep going. So he, so at least I could respect that. That even he, without saying it, he said it. It was a little suspect, that to stop that fight was a little suspect, and he wanted to keep going.
Annette, you had the floor. I don't know if you want it back.
Okay, yo. I'm not a big fan of Rolly. I didn't enjoy this fight. I don't think Rolly's style is made for boxing. Maybe for like, I don't know. But I just don't feel like he showcased that he could compete with the top dogs, or even he's the top dog in the sport. But Rolly, I ain't gonna say congrats to your success because I don't think it was a success. I ain't gonna, you won, you pulled out, you had people in your corner, you had the powers that be able to help you. So congratulations on that. That's all I got to say.
Oh, there's so much. Like, there's so much to say. I don't even want to say anything. Like, this is how bad this is. One, let's talk about how bad 140 has been. That's what I've been saying. 140 has been such a bad division and easy to clean up. You had Terrence Crawford, who was undisputed at 140. You had Josh Taylor, who was undisputed at 140. And now you have Rolly Romero, the champion, at 140. So let's just let that sink in for a second. Like, 140, not to say that good fighters don't go through 140, because Terrence Boyd Crawford's one of the best fighters in the world. And I think Josh Taylor is still one of the best fighters in the world, although people want to write him off because of his night with Jack Catterall. I'm just saying that 140 isn't the most stacked division in the world. And it's nice like this that remind you of that. But let's talk about Tony Weeks for a second. Tony Weeks needs to be suspended for months, maybe even years, because that is a horrible stoppage. I don't want to throw Tony Weeks away because there are several examples of him being a phenomenal ref, although those would be in the past because his most recent performance was last night and it was horrendous. But again, there's boxing politics involved. And you pointed it out, G. It's like someone wanted Rolly to win. And to me, the first obvious sign of that was when Tony Weeks called that obvious shove a knockdown. Yeah. Because when he started counting, I'm thinking, there's no way on God's green earth you can think that Rolly knocked this dude down. And Rolly didn't land a punch prior to pushing him down, but you still can't push someone down like that. I mean, I've seen it done before. Even if you look at Lennox Lewis when he drops Mike Tyson, he lands a vicious right hand on Mike, and then he kind of puts his body weight on Mike to put Mike down. But to be honest, it looked like he just assisted Mike on going where he was about to go anyway. In this case, the dude looked like he was never on his way down, and he just took his head and pushed him down, and Tony Weeks started counting. So to me, I thought that was sketchy, but I'm thinking maybe Tony Weeks thought Barroso was on his way down anyway, so he counted. I gave Tony the benefit of the doubt. But when he jumped in for that stoppage, I'm be honest with you, it immediately made me feel like, why? Like, this is the problem with boxing. Like,
this is why payola.
Yeah, but boxing used to be this, right? You used to get the feeling in boxing. Like, this is why I loved boxing. This is why I spent, from 12 to 15 and like for 3 years straight, I was in the gym at least 3 to 4 days a week. Because the belief that it didn't matter what I looked like, it didn't matter where I came from, it didn't matter if my parents were rich, it didn't matter if my parents were poor, it didn't matter if my parents were drug addicts, alcoholics. If I did everything I needed to do in that gym, one day I would be put in a situation where I can change my life. And all I would have to do was be great on the night when I got my opportunity, and I could change everything. And you saw Barroso in that very position. You saw him ahead on the scorecards. You saw he dropped Rolly. So although Rolly may have been coming on and hurting him, there still was the real possibility that he could hurt Rolly and knock Rolly out or drop Rolly and change the tide. So when I saw Tony Weeks call off that fight, it felt like a man's dream got taken away from him. And to see how he handled it, he was gracious, but we're talking about a man who they list as 40. They list him as 40, but everyone on the internet feels otherwise. And trust me, I feel otherwise. That man is Luis Ortiz's uncle.
Great uncle. You know what I'm saying?
That man is ancient. Like, I'm like, good God, like, we got to do a better job of getting these birth certificates or whatever. But my thing is, so not only is this man the underdog, not only is he not the promotional favorite, not only is he old and opportunities or in a young man's sport, opportunities are going to be scarce for him. He goes in there and gives it his all. He puts himself in a position to win, and it is taken away from him. And the only way it could be taken away from him, outside of his team stopping the fight, the referee stops the fight. And you just got the feeling that they were looking for any flurry from Rolly to jump in there and stop that fight, because that was not. And that shows how little faith they have in Rolly. Like, you couldn't let it go on a little longer, and maybe Rolly could have landed a solid punch that maybe you could have at least kept some credibility in stopping it. No, a punch to the shoulder, and you just decided, all right, it's time to jump in here. His shoulder's not going to be the same after that punch. But it just felt bad. It took away what boxing stands for. Like, you watch every movie about boxing, it's always someone coming from nothing, someone overcoming adversity, someone pulling off the improbable. And that was on display. The one thing about being Rolly is, you have the promotional company on your team. You may be the A side. You have everything. But the underdog who competes gets the crowd. The underdog who competes becomes the people. Like, the people start to root for that person. And the people started to, because everyone in that arena knows that you were fighting an old man. They can say that man was 40 all they want to. We could line every 40-year-old that was in that arena up. Say everyone 40 years old in a line, put Barroso in that lineup and be like, one of these people don't look like the others.
That's a fact.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So stop playing with us.
My man 40 going on 60. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is crazy to me. So I feel like, he's 40 in leap years. So I'm just saying, like, they
look like Smeagol, dog. Look like Smeagol from the league.
And they took his precious from him, man. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is crazy to me. So what we witnessed was elderly abuse. Trill said in our group chat, the WBA stands for We Be Aging.
Yeah, right.
But look, at the end of the day, it just really hurt boxing to me, because it took away what boxing stands for. It would have been nice to see Barroso have the opportunity to become the oldest champion, because at the end of the day, remember, they showed that graphic of all the guys who won the titles in their 40s. And you had like Bernard Hopkins in there, you had George Foreman, you had Manny Pacquiao, you had a lot of the greats. And he would have been able to put his name in that graphic. And also, he would have done it at the lowest weight division. So he would have been the oldest person to do it in that weight division. And all that was taken away from him. So you rob that man an opportunity of making history. And that's what doesn't sit well with a boxing person like me, because it makes me feel like all those days I spent in the gym believing in something. And when I see Barroso get robbed, I think, thank God I just decided to go to law school and take a more stable route where I didn't have to put my fate in the hands of the judges and the referees. And although the judges looked like they were about to do the right thing, so kudos to them. Although one judge had like Barroso only up by one round, and I'm thinking, that's sketchy. But at least Barroso was up.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I'm close by saying this. Rolly became champion, which is a great accomplishment in itself. And I don't want to bash Rolly too much, like you said, G, because Rolly did say, hey, I wanted the fight to continue. I think Rolly felt like he was coming on strong, and I think Rolly felt like he was going to stop him anyway. And I think Rolly wanted to win it in a fashion where people couldn't question him, because you had Rolly calling Devin the email champion. If Devin's the email champion, this isn't much better. You would have been better getting it through email. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have been better off getting this through email. So I think for Rolly's sake, it would have been better if the fight went on. But I do think politics got in the way, and I think everyone's seen it. And unfortunately, Rolly is the champion, but he's not going to be seen as the champion, because people are going to look at him as someone who got a gift. All right. Anyone have anything to add?
Nah.
All right. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and happy Mother's Day to all the daddies out there who had to play the role of mom, because they don't give
That's
the brothers the respect.
right.
That's right. To all the, you know what I mean? So shout out to all the brothers out there who hold it down, single daddies in the other world. And remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can listen to our podcast on all major streaming services. Please tune into the next segment. We are the Boxing Bros. Peace.